Hello, my name is Matt. Welcome to Unbearable 73. So it's time to discuss season 1 of Yakamoz uh, S245 with full spoilers. I have, if this is the only first video of mine you're seeing, I have an episode by episode with short reviews of each episode that are spoiler free, light spoiler for the episode I'm talking about, and I go into spoilers for the previous episodes if you want to hear some specifics. Okay. So in this one, I'm gonna be talking about just a summary of events, where they go from here, and whatnot. I've said most of the specific stuff about the production already in each of the episodes, so just some general points here. The writers bungled a great concept with this TV show. There are a lot of great elements, some quality acting elements, but they clearly wanted to jam in some multi-layered conspiracy that would cause the characters to act very antagonistically with each other. It was very annoying. What happened to Uma was writer-induced stupidity. What happened in the last episode with the missile was predictable, not so much because of the plot, but because of the problematic writing. So let's just get right on to the plot review, as you were. We found out, or rather the crew did, about the conspiracy that Armand's father set in motion to save his son. We have no idea if Armand's dad is a good guy or a bad guy. So this is all the ambiguous stuff that the writers left open, or on purpose or by negligence. The showrunners trying to make it sound like Neo did something bad by working for some people who survived this horrific event. Make the point clear. If something like this were to happen, there's no way to save more than 99% of the people on the planet. There's just no way. The ecosystem of the planet was destroyed by this event. It's going to take thousands upon thousands of years for large-scale life on Earth to re-evolve. And I'll talk about the plants somehow surviving in a bit. Okay? Then the negatives. Yuma, thanks to bad writing, came across as power-mad and vengeful loon. Even though if you follow the events of the series, he's kind of correct with almost everything he was thinking and almost every scene. The dear part. Now, so we're on to some perplexing stuff. Okay, Daphne seems innocent now, like as if she was just trying to help her friend, her mentor maybe, and her friends out by saving them. The intelligence agent comes across as a complete moron. Given where they left several of the characters, there's no real path of return for them. They can't be effective characters if they unless you make them villains. Basically, the writers wrote Yuma and the intelligence office agent into a corner. They both need to be killed off. Why killed off? Because it's not like they can survive on their own if they just run away. Maybe they'll make it. Eventually, they'll starve to death. So let's do some positives. The actors have done a very good job all season, particularly the dudes playing Armand and Yuma. That's Kivank Taitalug and Ertan Saban. Even though the material that Ertan was given was craptastic when taken as a whole. The setting was portrayed very well, including the apocalyptic event and the ramifications, with one exception. Okay, anything that did what it did to the food also basically killed off all plant life. Contrary to maybe popular belief or popular misconception, plants work on the same general biochemistry that animals do, which everything on the earth does, except for viruses and Mets fans. The same change to those tomatoes, for example, that made them worthless as food, should happen inside the plants and made the plants themselves starve to death. But we can only see trees and plants continue growing. Now, yeah, obviously, they'd have to spend so much on special effects and sound stages to edit it out, but they should have come. So essentially, they're showing you they're filming in the real world, and the event should have killed those plants and trees off, but they're not depicting that, so they need an explanation for that. The soundtrack was probably the best thing about this whole series. I love that theme. I horrible sounding at it, but I'm not going to play it because I'll get copyright struck or whatever. But that soundtrack with that the Yakamoz theme song, I'm calling it. So it's my 5 questions. What I put when I do a season review for a TV show. At its conclusion, does this season make me wish that I had more to watch, or does it make me wish that it had been shorter, or that I had wasted my time? I wish it had been shorter. I wish it had cut out the excessive conspiracy stuff, which I think led to crazy flips in tone and characterization. Do I hate the portrayal of the primary characters? In one particular case, Uma, his character is a far better story than he got, than the actor was given the role, for, so to speak. Did the show annoy him with moronic gimmicks, etc.? Not really. They didn't do any of those stupid tricks that try to make up for bad writing in other ways. Is this show preaching at me? No, none of that. The apocalypse happened. There's no preaching at you with this one. There's nothing humanity could have done to stop that event from doing what it did. Are there deal breaker moments, meaning something so weird happens that I lose my suspension of disbelief and can't get it back? In some individual episodes, yes. I'd watch the episode and I'm like, oh, like when Armand shot the miner not Armand, sorry, Umat, just opened fire on the miner. There was no sign. Like, it was later proven correct to shoot him because the miners were psychotic cannibals, but there was no sign that Umat knew that. This is Umat deciding to murder someone for the hell of it, which built into his arc in the episode where they made Umat out to be a sort of like greedy, psychotic bastard who was killing people just because he enjoyed it or for his self-gain. But there was no like build towards that. Like, they didn't show, like, there was that one scene in the first episode where Umat like was gonna close the hatch and not let them in, even though he could have. But you could understand the way it was said, where Umat blamed him for his crewman's death, and he had a moment of sort of moral lapse. Okay, I'm not saying he's justified doing that. I'm saying that wasn't. No one would take that as being Umat being a psychotic bastard. That they would take that as just Umat falling to bad morality because he was enraged and grieving over his crewman's death, which he's responsible for as the second officer on the vessel. What else? Other deal breakers. The hand-to-hand scene in the 7th episode. Like, I was okay with Armand charging in and getting past the initial guys. They've established Armand as someone who knows some sort of hand-to-hand combat. I wouldn't be surprised if the character was given a military background. I mean, does Turkey have one of those? Let's look. We'll make this interesting. I'm gonna look. We'll see it on the screen. I'm gonna put. We'll go. Does Turkey have mandatory military service? Okay, so that's 2019. Okay, let's see here. Oh, well, better yet. Conscription in Turkey. In Turkey, compulsory military service applies to all male citizens. So yeah, so Armand was clear. You can see it clearly that Armand, even if he hasn't studied martial arts, was in the military and pay attention to his hand-to-hand combat classes. Okay, because of all the characters who engaged in fisticuffs or hand-to-hand, or whatever you want to call it, this season, he looks the best. Okay, that could mean the actor. No, well, the actors all of the Turkish males, they all would have had military training, which you can see how when the actors hold the guns, they look okay with it. Meaning they don't look like. Now I'm not a gun expert, okay, but for example, when you have a gun, you don't hold your hand, you brace your hand. You don't hold it over the pommel, so to speak. They seem to be holding the guns correctly. They also another thing I have some of my military relatives explained to me is you want to be as relaxed as possible when you're holding the gun. You don't want to rigid and freed up because then you won't be able to adjust your aim. You want to be kind of how you are when you're at ease. They explained to me like you're ready, but you're not tense. You're at ease with the gun, then you go to action with it. At ease in action. So that like I said, but the thing that knocked me out of suspension this week was after he got to the point where he grabbed Uma, because no one would have expected that, because Armand has been not ultra violent before that. He had him in some sort of weird looking chokehold, and he didn't, like, he said he was going to kill him. But if he has training to do that, why did he just break his neck? So, which he could have, because Uma was showing no resistance to this, whether because he didn't want to or because he thought maybe he needed Armand, And then when the crew, and then those stupid little elbows where he was like that's not going to stop those guys from grabbing him. Okay, now when they all grabbed him and held him down, overcoming with mass, that kind of made some sense there. But between them grabbing him, like Umat should have been dead before they got to what they did. What I'm getting at. Now, so I kind of got out of it. I forced myself to get back into the episode to watch the rest of it, to see how it played out. I'll say I'm disappointed. Okay, but I'll get to that later. Any other type of moments like that? anytime they did these sort of like switcheroos where one episode they were doing like surviving the apocalypse, and all of a sudden the next episode they'd be like some sort of like paranoid conspiracy, they were all hostile, you know. Those knockout might make me less likely to be able to maintain my suspension of disbelief. So, just some final thoughts. I was far more enthused about the series at the start than it was by the end of it. I still recommend it being worth a watch. Barely because of how it ended. But I'm gonna watch season 2 if it happens. I'll just approach it with caution. I'll probably do a first episode or two and then see how it goes. If they fix some of the issues I want to talk about, I'll make that decision because I'm interested in the setting. Okay. To make this show work, they need to jettison the conspiracy there. Just dump it. It's pointless. The apocalypse happened. They're like maybe if they prepared well, if there might be 500,000 people left alive on the planet in these survival bunkers type of thing, desperately trying to figure out how they're going to grow all brand new food with the sun killing everything on the surface at some point. They need to focus on the survival aspects. And that's what the show could make its money out of, make its ratings on. And as I mentioned, the novel is a pretty, it seems from what I read, a hard sci-fi novel with a future that involves some robots and artificial intelligence and stuff. So they need to be making steps towards that. There's a sister show of the series. It's called Into the Night. I have the 2 seasons of it. I'm gonna at least watch the first season. I hope they didn't do the same stupid stuff that they did in this show with the conspiracy, over excessive conspiracyisms, they did with that one. So, I can go on, but I'm not going to belabor the point. You guys got the sense. I am disappointed by how this ended. I liked Armand and Uma as characters. I kind of liked the first officer character until she disappeared and became just the girlfriend / daughter character. Like, there were times when she was an assertive military force and doing her job, and there were times when she just became the girlfriend or the daughter, and like there was no consistency to what they were trying to do with that character. They did Daphne wrong. That intelligent agent character is a complete moron. The way they depicted her, there's a lot. Like I said, there's a lot to be disappointed about if you watched all 7 episodes. So I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10 just because I kind of enjoyed those first 2 episodes and I don't regret watching it. Okay, I have a feeling if I were to watch it again, which I'm not going to watch season 1 again, I would probably drop it down to like a 4, just because knowing what's coming. Like, rewatchability is a big thing. Anything I rate highly means I'm going to rewatch it at some point. Even if not this year or next year, 3 or 4 years down the line. If you ever give something a 10 out of 10, you can bet I'm going to rewatch it at least once every couple of years. And I'm going to watch clips of it often too, just of big fights and whatever. So, it's marginally better than okay. Worth giving a second season a shot, see if they fix the problems. Thanks for following along with the season for me. If you did. Well, if you didn't, thank you anyway. What the hell? Comment down below if you have any questions for me about this series I reviewed or about my video. Please share your thoughts. Share this video if you enjoyed it. Like if you like. Dislike if you dislike. Subscribe if you want to hear more from me. My name is Matt. This has been Unbearable 73. Have a nice day. I am out of here.